So what's this? This is my car. It will always be my car, right? I love this car, and I've made a decision to get another car. And this is the video that I should be making to try and convince you to buy my car, but I'm going to do a really bad job of it, and albeit well, you'll decide not to buy my car, because secretly, I want to keep my car. So don't buy my car. I've given it the lightest of washes. I've not even bothered cleaning the inside out. I don't think it's ever seen a Hoover, so there. Tough. So I've just filled up the car, and this is me with a camera on a stick, just doing some video footage. And this is one, to be honest, one of the reasons why I just love the car. Just going to get fuel is a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, and it gives me an opportunity to do a bit of an intro to the car. So I couldn't actually spend too much time driving around in the sunshine. I've just picked up some shopping after I filled up the car, and that's what you see on the passenger seat there. You've basically got boot space and you've got passenger seat. I rarely have passenger seat in the car, so that's where I tend to just dump my shopping. It's a perfectly sensible place to put shopping. I've done quite big shops in this car. Don't let people tell you it's rubbish for storage and doing a big shop. So this is my daily driver, right? So I use this car all the time. This is not an MX that's kept in a garage or under a cover and only used at weekends or when the sun is out, even though that's what the video might suggest. But I actually use it all the time. So first confession, right? The interior and the exterior all a little bit, rough around the edges, but the underlying engine and the mechanics and the gearbox and the brakes and all the stuff that you need for driving it is absolutely spot on. So it's just worth noting that, yes, the bodywork needs some attention. Might need some shampoo and maybe some wax. Hey, and the interior needs some attention as well. But overall, it's a great car. It's a solid, very solid piece of kit. Very predictable. So what have I been doing with this car? So every year, without fail, it gets a service and an MOT. Any weird and wonderful rattles, I'll come on to rattles in a minute. Anything that's been unusual, I've had it sorted straight away. It did have a thrust bearing problem back in the day, quite a serious problem, and I think that's the previous owner knew exactly what that was. That was a very expensive fix, possibly new gearbox or gearbox refurb as well, as a result of that. But ever since that's been done, that's been sorted. It's had what I thought was a clutch cable failure. Turns out it doesn't have a clutch cable. It has some sort of hydraulic thing. So that failed, and that's been fixed as well. But other than that, they're the only two serious problems we've had with the car, sort of from a drivetrain perspective. So enough of that. Right. This is what the car looks like when it's stationary. And we're not trying to juggle cameras and stuff. So scrubs up all right. Now this is all very sort of pretty panning shots, and I love the color, by the way. It's I didn't think I would, but it's sort of over the years that I've had this car. Bought this in 2015, in July 2015. The car has definitely grown on me. So apologies. Boot is full of rubbish. There's not, honestly, I've not purposely filled it with. This is what the boot's normally like, right? There's jump cables there because I was having problems with the battery. I think I've put a new battery in there, but now I don't have any problems with the battery. I'm not quite sure why I was showing you the petrol cap, but some people like the petrol cap, but there's no corrosion around there or anything. It's just dirty and a bit smeggy. There you go. That's petrol goes in there. Super unleaded, by the way. Put super unleaded in there. This is the passenger seat again. It's just messy. I'm sorry. It's dry robe and everything in there. I don't think there's video footage of the other side, but the carpet on the other side is actually worn through on the other side. But I've got mats down. There's some MX5 mats in there. There's the little kick plates. It did have a Momo steering wheel, which didn't have an airbag, so it was got an MOT failure. So I swapped it for that one. That's a limited edition. That's a proper MX5 steering wheel, a Nardi something or other. Oh look, here we go. More messy interior shots. The petrol cap and the boot release all works as well. Lecky windows work. Put a new one in on the driver's side, which is why it's a bit faster than the passenger's side. Now the roof works. So here's me putting the roof down. If you notice, it needs a bit of a push. That roof is a bit tight. So back in 2015, probably 2016 actually.
Don't let the
Talking.
ease at which the roof drops fool you. It's not quite right. It's a bit tight.
Oh, there you go.
Long story. And the dash cam
starts on the button.
Oh shit.
Right, that's me dropping the immobiliser button down the side of the seat. I do it all the time. Don't get attached to the dash cam. The daughter wrote a car off, so I'm going to take the dash cam out. This is where I get. This is the face. I've lost the immobiliser. Right, interior. I did take some video footage of this dodgy bit of carpet. So the actual carpet is gone through. So that's bad. So that's why there's a mat on top of it. And look, see, no Hoover. This is the electrics that goes on under there, where I put in the wiring for the dash cam, which I'll be taking out. It's got a little jumper thing on there. It doesn't quite work very well. I've obviously not put it on a switchable fuse. So this is the engine bay. It's all a bit grubby. It all works, all really works. So yes, it's a Japanese import. Didn't fully appreciate that it was a Japanese import when I was buying it. Never bought an MX5 before. So there you go. Double overhead cam, 16 valve, 1.6. Very sprightly. Is it modified? I don't know. I don't know what an MX5 engine should look like. It seems pretty fast to me compared to the new one, the ND. It's pretty comparable, to be honest. Nothing fishy going on with the VIN plate or anything like that. So yeah, it's just I tend to stay out of it. There's no oil in there that I'm aware of. It's all good. That's the bonnet catch thing. It's broken, that little plastic thing. All right, to start it, shortly after I got the keys, this little button, the immobiliser button, fell off. So I keep it in the car. But there you go. You just a little dab down there, and it disables the immobiliser. That's me putting the dash cam on because I have to keep taking it off because it flattens the battery if you leave it in. Right, what's this next bit? This bit is a detailed look at the bodywork. Right, so this is me with my little camera going around. So there are some little scuffs, not a lot of the way, and a bit of bubbling there going on. So this is like a first pass of the near side, the passenger side. There we go. If you're really lucky, you'll get a glimpse of my new car in the background. So that's the front. Excuse the shadow. Goodyear's all the way around, by the way. Loving the Goodyear tyres, very predictable. We do get a closer, lower look around the edge here, but if you just have a look, you might want to pause it. So there you go. That's probably the worst of it on that bit there. And you'll see a little glimpse of, there you go, there is a dent on the corner. Not my fault, I should add. Little clip in the light cluster there. And there's a little bit of a paint peeling around the key there. So that's really weird as well. There we go. Back window fell out, right? So I've replaced the roof. So if I hadn't mentioned it before, I've actually replaced the roof. So here we go, that's the door. There's a little bits of rust along the edge there. If you can see along the edge. Structurally, never had any issues with any of the MOTs or services. All the work I had done are pretty much at Braintree Motors, just up the road. Trustworthy bunch. There you go. This side definitely seems to be a little bit better than the driver's side. It's probably because it gets a lot less work. You can hear the annoying dogs in the background. And there you go. That's this side there. Now, this next video is where I had now got my phone on like a stick, so I can get much lower, much closer. So you can see there's a little bit of bubbling on the bodywork there. but there's nothing I can see that is dramatically rusty. As somebody described today, they had an MX5 with a transparent bottom. There's nothing like that going on in here, you know. That looks like it's missing a clip, that little wheel arch there. This is the front of the car now. Little bits of local countryside caught in there, you know. There's nothing there. So whilst we're here as well, there is a little rattle, there's a little rasp. People say it's the exhaust. I'm not sure what it is, but you can hear it sometimes when you let the foot off the accelerator. Not sure what it is. The car just performs really well. It's a little bit of rust there. So this is a close-up of that rear arch on the driver's side. That's probably the worst of it, to be fair. You know, right, now it's a closer look. So this dent, they wrote the car off, right? So this is, if you see any records, the car was written off. This is why it was written off. There was a guy in a VW Golf, he just encroached into my lane and then did that little dent. And I have not touched it. I've not treated it. I've not looked at it. So you can't say it's a bad repair because I've literally not repaired it. It's as it is. It possibly just needs pulling out. But there's no rust around it at all or anything like that. Looking down the sides of the car, there's no ripples that I can tell. But again, you know, I've not done any weird painting. And there's that paint peeling thing going on around that key. It just flicks off. It's really annoying. It looks like it's plastic underneath. I think that's it. I've got nothing else to show you. I've tried to be as honest as possible. I'm more interested in finding a nice home for my car. It's always going to be my car. How much is it worth? I honestly don't know. I think I've seen prices anything between 2, 3 grand, 2.5 grand, something in that region. I've got a couple of MX5 chums down at the running club. They've said make sure it doesn't go for less than 2. But you know, it's, you know, Ian said if he would be more suspicious of the car if it was left locked up and it only came out occasionally. Because it's a daily driver, he would actually prefer to buy something like this than something that was rarely used. It is a daily driver. If there's anything significant, I've had it fixed. Most of the advisories, there are advisories. If you look up the MOT record, there's all sorts of advisories on there. Emissions wise, it does all right. You know, I've never changed the exhaust on the car since I bought it. It's just one of the most reliable cars I think I've ever had. Bought it in July 2015, and then we moved to Earls Cone in 2016, August 2016. So it's moved from a town to a little village out in the countryside. It did have some slightly bigger alloy wheels, which were really ugly, and I went out and hunted down some originals. So these are the original sort of alloy wheels you would find on this make and model of car. So because the alloy wheels on these I think are 15s, 16s, there's a lot more rubber on the wheels. So for things like potholes, the roads around here aren't great. You know, the wheels actually fare a little bit better. You know, a lot of the scuffs you see on the alloys, not all of my scuffs. But I'm not going to say I'm completely innocent on the matter either. Look at that cornering, eh? Love it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the car. It's a great little car. It's a fun car. It just works really well. Like I said, probably not going to include the dash cam with it. It's got a little cheesy stereo in there, which I rarely use. Aircon, does the aircon work? Probably not. I'm not sure. Again, I don't use the aircon. Wherever possible, I drive with the roof down. I don't tend to drive it with the roof down in the rain. Airflow in the car with the roof up isn't great. It's really best driven with the roof down. But yeah, it's yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about it. This is just me driving around in the countryside, to be honest. Which, to be honest, is kind of what I want to go and do now. Literally just picked up my new car yesterday. So, what's today? It's the 2nd of September. And that's the end of this video. I'm going to finish this off, upload it to a private listed video on YouTube, so it's not going to be publicly accessible. I don't really intend to list the car on Auto Trader or anything like that, because I've had so many people saying, if you're buying a new car, then you might be obviously wanting to sell your old car. I'll have it. So I'm like, oh, okay. If I could, I would probably keep the car. In fact, as soon as I sell the car, I suspect I might start looking for another one. But no, I can't. No, I will. No, I won't. I don't know what I'm going to do. But there you go. Anyway, hopefully the little video has been useful. If you want any close-up shots of it, you know, give me a shout. If you want to come around and have a play with a car, give me a shout. There's only 2 people I think I'm aware of who are interested in the car, seriously interested. There's one guy who I'm probably not going to share the video to because I just don't trust him with my car. What am I doing here? Oh God, I'm such a knob. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to sell it for somebody who's going to just break it up for parts either. I'd rather it stayed whole, you know. But there you go. Right, I'll leave it there, I think. And thank you very much. But no, nice little souvenir of my car before it goes. Bye.
Woo! Have a good one, guys.
Yes, this is me dressed as King Arthur, driving around the country lanes. But there is a reason why I've added this little video on. This is taken a while back. It was for a park run event. It was all a bit fancy dress. Would have been July? June. End of June it was. June 2022. Dressed as King Arthur. And of course I decided to just drive around. Why waste a perfectly good King Arthur costume for driving around? Right, the reason I've put this video on here is, and I'll not turn it down, I'll leave the volume right up. We should hear a little bit of a rattle. Now, if you're an engine man or a car man, or even preferably an MX5 man, you might actually recognise what this rattle is. I'm convinced it's some sort of loose fitting or something. It just feels like something rattly in there. And it's normally once the car's warmed up maybe a little bit, maybe that's a red herring, and maybe when I'm letting off the accelerator, you can hear this sort of faint rattle. So yeah. Did you hear it? Did you hear that faint rattle?